Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahushai, Ba'ashim Rakakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone for teaching us His truth. And salutations to the sincere Akim and Akwat that may listen. May the blessing of election be upon your house. My name is Brother Akwai. I'm back in here with another quick lesson. And for today's lesson is titled The Physician and the Mad Scientist. And what inspired this lesson is, a lot of the recent events that are, kind of been circulating on the news in regards to the C-hip. And I just wanted to draw some parallels between that and essentially, some of the things Yahushua did during his time, during his ministry. And so just bear with me on this, right? It sounds a little far-fetched, but just bear with me on this. So let me start off with this first precept before I actually get into the account, because the account is very, very interesting. So just bear with me on this. Sirach. Okay, this is Sirach chapter 38, verse 1, and it reads, "Honor a physician with the honor due unto him for the uses of which he may have of him. For the Lord Yahweh hath created him. For of the Most High cometh healing, and shall receive honor of the king. The skill of a physician shall lift up his head, and the sight of great men he shall be in admiration. The Lord hath created medicines out of the earth, and he that is wise will not abhor them." Right? So this is actually, can refers to, in a spiritual sense, it refers to Yahweh Shai, because it reads that in Psalms chapter 119, I believe, it says, "How shall a young man cleanse his way? By cleaving to the word," right? That is the is the word that cleanses us, right? That is the baptism, right? That is, it's a greater baptism than, in comparison to, John the Baptist, because even John the Baptist even said to him, "He that comes after me, who is greater than I," to roughly paraphrase, "he shall baptize you with the Holy Spirit," right? So that is how we, we get cleansed. Yahweh Shai is our physician, right? So that's why I wanted to bring on this precept to kind of outline, okay, Yahweh Shai is representation of that physician, as well as the mad scientist is a representation of Esau, right? So how did these two kind of, I guess, I don't want to say mesh together, how did these two, I guess, somewhat relate, right? Because in the news, if you've been following the news recently, there has been a lot of talk in the town in regards to Elon Musk's Neuralink, right? And we both know, that is his version of the C-hip, right? So let's get that. Just to establish, what's going on. Okay, this is Revelation 13, verse 16, and it reads, "And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand and in their foreheads." Okay, verse 17, "And that no man shall buy or sell, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name," right? So this goes into, let's get it, because this is not to be confused with the mark that is spoken of in Ezekiel chapter 9, verse 4. Let's get, so the word here for mark is charagma.
Strong's G 5480, charagma. Charagma.
Right? So when you see, it says a stamp or imprinted mark, a a mark stamped upon the forehead or on the right hand of the badge of the followers of, I don't want to say Antichrist because, there's many Antichrists, right? But, this is a physical thing, right? And, how does this relate to the lesson itself, right? So this is the crafty device of the mad scientist who I've nicknamed in this lesson who goes by Esau, right? So this is one of his crafty devices that he's pushing out onto the world, right? And this is what he wants to do to be able to track people. And essentially what it does, it defiles your temple, right? But the way he's going to dress it, and this is why I'm calling him a mad scientist, the way he's going to dress it is something that actually brings forth healing, that brings forth closure, that brings forth convenience, that brings forth that brings forth these different things that actually seems for your benefit, right? That is the objective. That's why I'm calling him a mad scientist, because it seems like he's doing it to actually help people, but the real intent is not to help you. The real intent is to track you. The real intent is to inflict harm and damage towards you, especially you Israelites, right? This is why I'm calling him a mad scientist, right? Because he's not a real physician, right? He doesn't actually deal with healing, right? As opposed to the account I want to bring out in regards to Yahushai, right? Now, because I said it was a device, let me just get that point as well. Let's go to 2 Corinthians. Oops. Slakia, excuse me. Okay, this is 2 Corinthians 2, verse 11, and it reads, "Lest Satan should get advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices." And this is one of the devices that, quote unquote, people like Elon Musk is bringing out, because it's making it look like, okay, once you take this, you're able to you're able to walk again, you're able to be healed from your sicknesses, be healed from your infirmities. You're able to, I guess, for example, telepathically talk to, your loved ones, be able to control, devices with your mind, kind of like, some of the superpowers from the X-Men or whatever, things like that. But the point is, the objective of really what he wants to do is to inflict harm upon you Israelites. And actually, it's not for your benefit, it's for your detriment. That is the difference. So, as a matter of fact, this scripture actually came into my mind. This is Sirach. Is it 27? Okay, I'll start at 26. It says, Sirach 19 and 26, it says, "For there is a wicked man that hangeth his..." excuse me. "There is a wicked man that hangeth down his head sadly, but inwardly he is full of deceit, casting down his countenance, and making as if he heard not. Where he is not known, he will do thee a mischief, for thou be aware." So that's the way he's coming. He's coming all sweet, cuddly, and soft like a Care Bear, but he's actually, he's cursing inwardly, right? Because he's actually trying to inflict harm and defile the temple of you Israelites. Verse 28. It says, if for want of power he hindered from sinning, yet when he find an opportunity he will do evil. And this is the opportunity that he has, is to bring upon essentially a crisis to justify bringing in this sea hip, right? Kind of like how, for example, they did, I believe it was the Patriot Act back in those days after 9/11. They for example, they would create a crisis, or they would use a crisis to actually bring in a particular agenda, right? So, being able to, okay, because we've had this crisis, we need to justify more authoritative measures to actually come down on you people, to be able to track you people, to know what you're talking about, to know your the ins and outs of your your Google searches. I'm just using that as an example, right? But it's just very interesting as well. If you Google search something, and then you go on YouTube, you see ads for that thing you just Googled. Things like that, right? So let me get. Hopefully, by the way, all of this is actually piecing together and making sense, right? So I just want to get this quick example of Yahushua actually healing. You know, okay, so here it says Yahushua heals a deaf man. So this is Mark 7, verse 31. And it reads, I'll read it in NLT. So hopefully this, as always, is edifying. And it says, Yahushua left Tyre and went up to Sidon before going back to the Sea of Galilee and the region of the 10 towns. A deaf man with a speech impediment was brought to him, and the people begged Yahushua to lay his hands on the man to heal him. Yahushua led him away from the crowd so they could be alone. He put his fingers into the man's ears. Then, spitting on his own fingers, he touched the man's tongue. Looking up unto heaven, he sighed and said, Ephatha, I always mispronounce this, Ephatha, which means be opened. Instantly, Yahushua speaking, instantly the man could hear perfectly, and his tongue was freed so he could speak plainly. Yahushua told the crowd not to tell anyone, but the more he told them not to, the more they spread the news. They were completely amazed and said again and again, everyone he does his everything he does is wonderful. He even makes the deaf to hear and gives speech to those who cannot speak, right? So this is one of the a simple one of the accounts of Yahushua actually using his spiritual power to be able to, heal people, because our people are in a destitute state of wisdom, and they're afflicted. They're afflicted not only in their minds, but they're also in their bodies. So I just want to draw that and bring out that account, because really and truly, for our people to be healed, they have to come through Yahweh Shai, right? He is the one who's able to bind us up and heal us and make us more upright and cleanse us, right? He is that true physician. It's not Esau using his C hip to actually try and, quote unquote, heal our people, because we know the crafty devices of Esau is not to heal our people. I'm just going to use other simple examples of different, quote unquote, drugs that he uses in his drugstore. It doesn't actually heal your people. It doesn't actually heal the people. It just essentially it's just a patch job. He doesn't deal with healing, because for a person to actually be healed, they don't have any more ailments, right? And that's not what Esau believes in. He believes in patch jobs. This is why we always have to go back. This is why customers always have to go back to him all the time. Like, for example, if a person has cancer, they have to constantly go back to him, to get treatment, right? Because if you cure something, a patient is lost, right? So there is no such thing as a cure, right? There's only treatments. That's the difference between Esau and Yahushai. Yahushai was able to cure the man, right? And then after Yahushai died on the cross, the apostles, the disciples at the time, and eventually they became apostles. I just use Apostle Peter, for example. Is at a time in Acts that they had that power to be able to heal different people. For for example, the man, I think he was sitting outside of a synagogue in Acts chapter 3, right? And, Peter told him to, get up and walk, and the guy was able to walk, right? So this is what comes with the power of the physician, Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, right? So that kind of sums up the lesson, to be honest. I just wanted to draw on, the differences, or I guess, I don't want to say the differences, but I just wanted to draw some of the some similarities between some of the things Yahushua did and some of the things that quote unquote Esau is trying to do, which it's not really for your benefit, it's for your detriment. So I just wanted to explain that so all of it actually ties together and makes sense, right? Because with this MOTB, it's not going to be for our people's um, benefit. It's not going to be for your benefit at all. It's going to be for your detriment. Kind of like the the syringe that came out a couple of years ago, and people, quote unquote, lost their jobs. It wasn't for their benefit at all. It was for their detriment. A lot of people lost their jobs. A lot of people now have a lot of ailments, have blood clots. I was watching this report, and it said that a lot of the I forgot what, I don't know the title of those people. The people essentially they dress the body. They work with like dressing the body. I think it's a mortician, that's how you call them. But anyways, those people that work with the dead people before the funeral process, and they found, oh, I believe they perform autopsies as well, if I'm not mistaken. What they do, to figure out the cause of death, what they found, a lot of people who took that syringe, right? That's what I'm calling it. They found a lot of those people ended up having like long, big fibrous tubes of like blood, just like clunk together like a blood sausage, right? And I thought it was very, very interesting because that's something the media is not talk about. And this is some of the this is a practice of the mad scientist known as Esau, and this is what he's trying to do. It's not trying to actually benefit and heal you people, especially you Israelites. He's trying to destroy you. He's a mad scientist. He puts orange juice in a coffee maker and tries to make coffee, right? He's backwards. you know. So anyways, forgive my ranting, but hopefully Yahweh Ratazah, this makes sense and pieces together. And I just like to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, Bashim Makakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone for teaching us this truth. Until next time, I say Shalom.